You know, if I'm being honest, it's, well, in theory, it's an improvement. And I like to be honest because I'm a fair arbitrator. And honesty is the best policy still. You know, you get somewhere if you tell the truth. You can get somewhere if you lie too. But ultimately, what goes around comes back around, even if it's universal karma. So you get your comeuppance eventually. Eventually you do. And well, there's something that, well, kind of strikes me as odd. Kind of strikes me as very strange. You know, I'm standing here on, well, on a floor surface. And I didn't build it. So I don't own it. I pay a little fee to stay. But I'm paying it to somebody that in theory owns the property. The only problem with that is they're claiming to own it when they don't really own it. And you're saying, purple people's out. Make this make sense. You know, it's a shame what we do to the indigenous people around here. It's a real shame. This is the Wamish land. It's occupied territory. We're on the Wamish shore. And you know, the Wamish people, they have traditions. They have customs. They have practices and traditions that they did. And we don't do those anymore. And that's fair enough, because they no longer are in charge of the land. But you can't come and make demands, and demands that are unreasonable, and think that the rightful owners, well, they shouldn't have any say-so just because you own it. That's not true. And you're like, well, purple people's out. Here you go with the schooling me. You think I'm stupid. So I'm going to present your argument. And then I'm going to quash it like a little child. Well, not literally and not figuratively. But I'm going to quash it like something very tiny in nature. You're going to say, purple people's out. To the Wamish. They have their reservations. They have the casinos. They have treaties with the United States government. And you're not lying. It's all true. But you gotta look at the fine print. You gotta look at the bylaws. And who honors the treaties? Well, it depends on a lot of factors. Have the treaties been honored? Well, you know, even if they were honored to a T, which they haven't, I might add, you know, it's still occupied land. And when the rightful owners want their land back, well, I already said it once, but I have to repeat myself for repetition. The Purple People's Owl stands with the marginalized and oppressed as an advocate. So if the Wamish want their land back, I'm going to go and help the Wamish get their land back. And you know, I have some unconventional methods of how I go about approaching things. And I'm sure that the Wamish would probably, well, I don't want to speak for anybody else besides myself. I get into trouble when I do that. But anyway, we're on occupied land. Be respectful. Don't act like you own something that you don't. Don't act like this isn't colonized land. You know, do what you will because you own it now. Be respectful. We owe the Wamish people a lot for preserving the land. Not just the land, but all the creatures on the land. They did a good job as stewards over the land. And now we have to do an equally good job, or even surpass them. And right now our track record is not looking good. You know, it's not only disrespectful to the Duwamish people, but it's disrespectful to their ancestors. When you purposely fuck up nature and you laugh about it. You know, we better start being respectful to nature, or nature won't be respectful to us. We have a climate change issue, if you haven't heard, and it's very severe. The youth seem to know more than you adults, And you're supposed to be smart. You know, the land finally comes back to replenish itself. And the rightful owners, well, sometimes they come back too. When the land replenishes itself, the rightful owners return. And I just want to repeat this one more time for the record. The Associated Press, in consultation with Reuters and CNN, MSNBC, and Fox News, are also reporting that the Purple People's Owl is downtown, in downtown Seattle, along with the Duwamish people, and they're clamoring for their land back. They're saying that the land has been disrespected by the inhabitants who are occupying it, and they won't leave their occupation until certain demands are met. Now, we know that we're going to be matched with, well, the power of the state, so I expect that. And, well, I like shows. I like ruckuses, and I'll leave it at that. The Purple People's Owl, well, we're going to stand with the Duwamish, and I think you're going to be surprised at the showing of the show. So, as they say at the end of the credits, each one bring a friend. And, you know, bring your best attire. You know mine. You know the look. You know the style. And, you know, I like to swing. And I hit home runs, and I'm swinging for the fence. I'm going out swinging. That's what I'm trying to say. And you know, there's an old saying. You remember the movie. It was called Gangs of New York. How they founded New York. You know, it was violent. It was a lot of mob action. A lot of unruliness. The government had to come in and enforce the rules. You know, they massacred a lot of people. But, you know, it was the way you got things done. You stood for something. You had principles. You didn't just flock with the wind like a dandelion, just withering away. You know, at least I died free. What about you? What's your principles? What do you stand for? You disrespect the land? You disrespect the animals? You don't know what the fuck you're doing. You don't stand for anything. Well, I stand with the animals and the Duwamish. And when they want their land back from you ungrateful inhabitants that are occupying it, well, it's going to be a show. Get your tickets. It's going to be a world premiere. Once again, Reuters and the Associated Press is reporting, along with CNN and Fox News and MSNBC, is reporting about the Purple People's Owl.